What's most important to me is winning. I want to win. I want to win by any means necessary. I want to be the best. I want to be the best, simple and plain. And to be the best, you have to win. That's why I play the game. That's what drives me.
Kobe Bryant was born August 23, 1978 in Philadelphia. When Kobe Bryant was 6 years old, his father left the NBA and moved his family to Italy to continue playing professional basketball. Bryant became accustomed to his new lifestyle and learned to speak fluent Italian. Kobe went there not being able to speak the language, but the language he did understand was the one of sports. That was a huge place of refuge for him. Through basketball and soccer, Kobe was able to build connections with his peers, but all in all, Kobe spent a lot of time alone and would go out his way to go to his dad's practices and games to be in that atmosphere. This was the start of Kobe learning to go inward to bring the best out of him in spite of him feeling some pretty dark emotions from being in isolation. During summers, he would come back to the United States to play in the basketball summer league in the Philadelphia area right before his high school years. There was one summer in particular where Kobe didn't score the whole entire summer, not even 1 point. This made Kobe Bryant start playing a long game, where he told himself that he wasn't going to quit on himself and that he simply had to get better little by little over time. Kobe was the first player to start on varsity as a freshman at Lower Merion, but finished off that season with 4 wins and 20 losses. Kobe was the first player to start on varsity as a freshman at Lower Merion, but finished off the season with 4 wins and 20 losses. By the time of his junior year at Lower Merion High School, Bryant became a basketball star, breaking records and collecting trophies and honors. And as a senior, he was voted National High School Player of the Year by USA Today and Parade magazine. He helped his team win a state title and had ended his high school career with a total of 2,883 points, more than any other player in the history of the southeastern Pennsylvania area, which had produced such NBA greats as Carlin Warley and Wilt Chamberlain, who was one of the players that scored 100 points in the NBA, a record that is still today untouched. Bryant also boasted a record-breaking average of 30.8 points, 12 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 4 steals, and 3.8 blocked shots per game. He eventually declared for the upcoming NBA draft straight out of high school, which he got mixed opinions from the public for his decision to skip college.
I decided to take my talent to the NBA.
Well, it's an opportunity of a lifetime. I feel it's time for me to go out and seize it while I'm still.
Kobe wanted to be the best basketball player that he could be, and the only way to do that is to play against the best. Seeing that Michael Jordan was on his way out the door, Kobe viewed this as an opportunity to go against arguably the greatest to have ever played a game. He was drafted by the Charlotte Hornets in the first round as the 13th pick. He then was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers soon after he was drafted. The very first thing Kobe wanted to do after he was traded was go straight to the gym to train because he felt as though he was slighted. But for Kobe, it was a dream come true to be playing for an organization he always seen himself a part of. At that time, he was the youngest player to have ever get drafted, and he did not fit in with the team at all once he got there. This was another major change in his life that led to him feeling alone. All of his teammates was older than him. He was still a kid at the age of 17 playing with grown men who had families to feed. That same year, Kobe peers such as Ray Allen and Allen Iverson was taking the league by storm while he was sitting on the bench just dying to get in the game. He would drive around the campus of UCLA and wonder if he made the right decision of going to the NBA when he could be experiencing the college life and hanging out with the people his age. Imagine how lonely that must have felt. But the thing he knew most was relying on his own ability to be the best that he possibly could be and his love of the game. He would go on to win the 1997 NBA dunk contest, but Kobe's rookie season ended on not so much of a high note.
So Kobe Bryant, the young rookie, straight from high school. 8 seconds left. Bryant guarded by Russell. 5 seconds left. 4. Bryant drives, pull up, shot on the way. No good. Carver rebounds. We go to overtime. Bounce, wide right. Van Exel fakes, knock away. Cross court left. Open.
Kobe's rookie season ended with him launching 4 air balls in the last moments of the fourth quarter in OT against the Utah Jazz, who went on to face the Chicago Bulls in the NBA Finals. Those 4 air balls crushed him, but it didn't crush his confidence. The next day, Kobe went to the high school gym in his area where he was let in by the janitor, and he stayed in there all day. All day. Just replaying that moment of the night before in his head over and over and over and over and over again. And that yet again speaks to the type of person that he was and where he's seen his purpose with the game of basketball. In his second season as a LA Laker, Bryant earned more playing time and became the youngest NBA All-Star starter in the history of the NBA, and ended up winning his first championship in 2000. During this time, he would be getting married to Vanessa Bryant, and he would go on to win the next 2 championships with the Los Angeles Lakers. He was playing some of his best basketball around this time, and everything would seem to be clicking. Kobe would start to experience turmoil with the other superstar on the team, who was Shaquille O'Neal.
First time we had our first fight, and you looked and said, okay, this is crazy.
I did say that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
You did.
crazy.
You did. Anyway, we were playing a pickup game. We was doing a lockout season, Southwest College, playing a pickup game. We're on opposite teams.
Right.
And trash talking.
Yes.
And you kept saying, yeah, take that little. I'm like, I'm looking around. Oh, me.
Yes.
Right? And I said, oh, hold on, ain't gonna be too many more of those little, you know.
Yeah, I remember that.
And what'd you say? Well, what you gonna do about it? Well, what you gonna do about it? And then that's, the next thing I knew, I saw a big hand coming this way, and I remember going this way, and I remember throwing some lollipop, Golden Polynese came and caught, and then they all just kind of broke us apart, broke us up. I'm looking at this and I'm saying, man, he wants this thing. It affects him, right? I mean, it consumes him. And then from that moment on, I knew we spoke the same language.
Due to Kobe's work ethic, Shaq relied on that for Kobe to get through the regular season, and Shaq would use his dominance to overpower anyone that stood in his way. They were the perfect duo, but he didn't work as hard as Kobe, and this made Bryant feel as though Shaq didn't deserve the ball as much as he demanded it. This friction started to become more and more public the more success they received. By the end of the Lakers' three-peat from the years 2000 to 2002, Shaq and Kobe's egos was at an all-time high, and it was evident that one felt they can do without the other. Bryant and his wife Vanessa welcomed their first child, a daughter named Natalia Bryant, on January 19, 2003. Every Kobe fan knows his alter ego is the Black Mamba. This is when Kobe turns into an assassin on the court. When all else fails, the Black Mamba was going to get the job done and win at any cost. We all know the legendary face.
It is his willpower, his determination, see that fire in his eyes.
Bryant for 3, puts it in! Kobe Bryant from downtown!
He explains in Kobe Bryant's Muse that in 2003, he was being heavily ridiculed by the crowd and felt like his life was spiraling out of control. So he created the Black Mamba to detach from that reality. He said Kobe has to deal with these issues, all the personal challenges. The Black Mamba steps on the court and does what he does. I'm destroying everybody that stepped on that court. Through his world starting to plummet into utter chaos, Kobe had to learn how to fully embrace and integrate the pain and stress that he was going through on a daily. This made him rely on nothing but his will to express himself, and it wasn't for anyone. It solely was for him, and he was going to be driving the ship. Bryant didn't know if he was going to lose his family, and that he just started and he was facing being sentenced, and it felt as though he reached rock bottom with no way to view the top again. Shaq was eventually traded after they lost in the NBA Finals in 2004, and the new narrative was placed on Kobe. Could he win without Shaq? Kobe Bryant persona was not a positive one to the public. He was looked at as an egotistical, arrogant person because how he carried himself on the court. But off the court, Kobe would work tirelessly on his game and every detail and nuance there was that he can exploit.
Great analysts like Steve Kerr and our own series.
Nah, I mean, you know, we have a million and one excuses that we could go to. Fact of the matter is, we're not going to make any. They played better than we did in the series. We had our opportunities to win it. Didn't go for us. You know, so we just have to regroup. Like I said, next season starts right now, and you know, come back next season ready to play.
How much harder will you work in this offseason now to get back to the championship?
I'll push myself to exhaustion.
Kobe, we thank you for your time. All right, let's go over.
Kobe would spend his off seasons rigorously training, shooting thousands of shots every day, and training at least 3 times a day almost every single day. That type of dedication and determination was recognized by his peers, and they knew when Kobe was in town, he was going to bring the best out of you because how intense he was about his craft. The following years, the Lakers would have subpar seasons with Kobe averaging 30-plus points between the years of 2005 through 2007. Kobe would put on impressive scoring performances, with one being so legendary that very few in history of the game would ever come close to doing. On January 22nd, 2006, Kobe would score 81 points in a single game against the Toronto Raptors, and this is how he described that feeling.
To see a career high for Kobe Bryant.
What was Phil and your team? How were they reacting at this point in time?
You know, I don't know. Because I was kind of getting in the zone. You just kind of stay there. You know, you don't become oblivious to everything that's going on. You know, you don't think about your surroundings or you know what's going on with the crowd or the team. You know, when you have that feeling, it's not much you can do about it. When you get on a roll, you know, your teammates just feed off of that. They just feast off of that, and that excites you even more. I think it was right before the fourth quarter, and you know, I just kind of smirked a little bit, but kind of stayed where I was. You know, just try to stay in the moment as much as possible. Yeah, but like I said, you know, I stayed in the moment. I mean, I felt great. You know, I felt like I was going, and as long as I was in the game, I was going to stay focused on the game.
The night at least. Bryant for 80. This would be 18 for 20 from the line, and an 81-point game. 55 in the second half. Ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed the second greatest scoring performance in NBA history.
This was the quality about Kobe that made him great at what he did. His ability to focus and be immersed in the moment was one of his superior qualities, and this carried him throughout his career and his life. He would soon win the NBA MVP honors during the seasons of 2007-2008. Kobe would go on after this and get his chance at redemption in 2008 once he made it back to the NBA Finals for the first time without Shaq. The matchup was between two historic franchises, the Boston Celtics and the Los Angeles Lakers, who have a deep-rooted rivalry that transcended throughout the time as basketball turned into a global sensation. This goes all the way back to 1959 when these two teams met in the finals for the first time. The Celtics were a more gritty team and was willing to go further than the Lakers to win a championship. The Lakers will go on to lose the series in 6 games, with Game 6 score being 92-131. The 39-point margin of victory was the largest ever in an NBA championship clinching game, breaking the old record of 33 also set by the Celtics over the Lakers in Game 5 of the 1965 NBA Finals. The score was 129-96. This is the point where something clicked in Bryant to understand empathy and how to drive his teammates to be the best that they can be. Knowing what buttons to press to get them going and what makes them tick. Where they came from and what were some of their motivations. What was their why? This became a driving force for Kobe, and it naturally made him change his leadership approach. That following year, Kobe got his team on board and had another amazing season to no one's surprise and made it back to the finals to face off against the Orlando Magic.
Still waiting for a big smile out of you. You're up 2-0. What's the story? Are you not happy, or you're only half happy, or?
Still to be happy about.
You're up 2-0.
Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so.
Okay.
This was a man that was on a mission and a quest of vengeance, and nothing was going to stop him from reaching that goal of winning that championship, which he did and earned Finals MVP honors as well. Kobe Bryant would soon meet with the team that forced him to see his weaknesses. In 2010, the Los Angeles Lakers faced off against the Boston Celtics once again, and just as before, they were as tough and gritty as ever. Life tends to test people's intentions on reality, and those that have a strong will within themselves will be shown favor by the universe for conquering their limitations. The series went down to the very last game to decide it all. Game 7. Win or go home. Out of everybody on the court, Kobe had the most pressure on his shoulders with so much attention on him. Will he be able to overcome this current adversity? He was put in a predicament where he wouldn't know how to face himself if he was to lose to the Celtics once more. With grace that came before him, such as Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Jerry West, who highly decorated the franchise, it was now his turn to carry the torch. The Lakers got off to a bad start and found themselves down by 10 plus points in the third quarter, and Bryant was not playing well at all. He finished the game shooting 6 for 27. But that inner will to be the best and to win drove him in the face of adversity.
Now, where are the Celtics going to find offense right now? Bryant on the pull-up, punch it! Bryant on the pull-up, punch it in! 4-point Laker lead. And you can tell Bryant is sensing the finish line.
Kobe went out to score 10 out of his 23 points in the fourth quarter, and the Lakers was able to gut out a 79-83 victory to win the 2010 NBA championships.
Have won back-to-back NBA championships, and they're 16th overall. The streamers are coming down from up above, the confetti falling on the floor. Back-to-back titles, and they get to do it on their home floor in front of an adoring crowd.
Kobe will earn his second consecutive Finals MVP honors and win his 5th championship with the Lakers. Fast forward to the year 2013. His injury came while he was playing 7 consecutive quarters and at least 40 minutes for 7 consecutive games. The 34-year-old Bryant was averaging his most minutes, 38.6 in 6 years.
Lakers lead at 79-73. Here at home. Bryant attacking all the way, dumps it home. Kobe down the middle with authority. That very easily could have been an and one. Wow, been an and one. That's taking it and taking it with authority. Kobe another 30-point game, and he got there with this. Just think if he could palm the ball. With Howard setting the pin. In front of him is Horford. Bryant with 10 on the shot clock. Bryant to the dribble. Bryant attacks all the way. Scores! Lakers lead. Count them. 9 seconds. Steal the clock. All right, a couple of things here. Remember when Kobe started 1 for 4 in the quarter?
On April 12th, Kobe would tear his Achilles against the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, he's struggling. He's going to stay down there for a bit. And he is hurting, but the Lakers down by 2, and they want him and need him at the free throw line. Got it.
The other end, if in fact he gets to the other end before a foul,
Made him. Lakers might foul. They might foul to get him out of the game. That's
they have to.
Yeah. Kobe's coming out.
Yeah, I mean, that's the Achilles.
So Kobe Bryant cannot continue. And the crowd. The ovation.
And he's going to, I would assume he'd go straight to the locker room.
Don't ever question the heart, the emotion, the grit, the tenacity.
And he would be confronted with those dark emotions once more.
Well, I want to start off by reading something that you wrote right after you were injured. You went on Facebook and you posted a lengthy blog. Yeah. You know what this is?
Oh, yeah.
You said this.
You gonna read the whole thing?
I'm gonna read some of it. This is such BS. All the training and sacrifice just flew out the window with one step that I've done millions of times. The frustration is unbearable. The anger is rage. Why the hell did this happen? Makes no damn sense. Now I'm supposed to come back from this and be the same player or better at 35? How in the world am I supposed to do that? I have no clue. Do I have the consistent will to overcome this thing? Maybe I should break out the rocking chair and reminisce on the career that was. Maybe this is how my book ends.
Yeah.
Maybe Father Time has defeated me. Then again, maybe not. It's 3:30 a.m. My foot feels like dead weight. My head is spinning from the pain meds, and I'm wide awake. Forgive my venting, but what's the purpose of social media if I won't bring it to you real, no image? Feels good to vent, to let it out. To feel as if this is the worst thing ever. Because after all the venting, the real perspective sets in. There are far greater issues and challenges in the world than a torn Achilles. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Find the silver lining and get to work with the same belief, same drive, and same conviction as ever. One day, the beginning of a new career journey will commence. Today is not that day. If you see me in a fight with a bear, pray for the bear.
Kobe Bryant will work extremely hard to be able to return to the court, and only to be plagued with more injuries in the following seasons. On November 29th in 2015, Bryant announced via the Players Tribune that he would be retiring at the end of the season. Kobe's last season of the NBA was one that was very unique and showed the impact that he left on the court. Places that once booed him and hated his guts were now showing huge appreciation for what he did to the game of basketball. His tenacity, obsession over the details, and relentless perseverance was finally recognized and greatly appreciated. His whole entire career, Bryant maintained the villain persona, which comes with a mass amount of hate. Kobe Bryant would cap off his entire career April 13th against the team that he once shot 4 air balls against with no hesitation back in his rookie year. Bryant came out the gates missing his first couple of shots and couldn't get it going, being anxious about the game. He would soon settle in and go on to make his next 5 straight shots after those misses. The Black Mamba would make his final appearance known with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, where he would find himself down by 12 points and he's sitting on 37 points. The Black Mamba will put every ounce of his energy, passion, and love for what he's doing to that moment for one last time, to leave everything on the court for one last time.
Kobe's got the Lakers' last tip. Bryant for 3. Go! The Lakers down 1. Will Kobe give them one last gamer? Bryant on the move with the jumper. He got it! Oh, my! 58 points! And the Lakers lead!
There's no way that I can thank you enough for that. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And what can I say? Mamba out.
Kobe Bryant ended the game scoring 60 points and securing a win, with that game being the second highest viewed game in ESPN history, with over 5 million people tuned in to see him play for the last time. Kobe went on after his NBA career looking to spend more time with his wife and 4 daughters, and also to look to be a mentor to others in the realm of sports to inspire the next generation. He would win an Oscar for his short film, Dear Basketball, which he wrote to announce his retirement. Kobe coined the term Mamba mentality throughout the midpoint of his career and onward, which he lived by. The Mamba mentality is a creed, a way of life that is universal to all. It's about not settling and selling yourself short and going after what you care about with very intentional focus. Kobe Bryant would make children's books and shows to highlight some of life difficulties and how to confront them and learn from them in the realm of sports. He also would coach his daughter Gianna basketball team and surround her around great players and take her to NBA and WNBA games. On January 26, 2020 at approximately 9:30 a.m., a fatal helicopter crash took the lives of 9 individuals. Those individuals were Alyssa Altobelli, John Altobelli, Carrie Altobelli, Gianna Bryant, Kobe Bryant, Peyton Chester, Sarah Chester, Christina Mauser, and Ara Zabayan. This shook the whole world up, and this was a tragedy for the people that was involved and all of their loved ones. Major condolences to their friends and families, and they will be missed. Kobe Bryant lived a life on purpose, and he felt as though anyone was capable of doing the same thing. Kobe Bryant wanted to inspire others to push the bounds of what they thought they knew and what they was capable of. Kobe will live forever as an icon, and that transcended his circumstances in spite of very difficult obstacles that stood in his way. While playing 20 years for one team, the only player in the NBA that has done that, he was able to be a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, a 5-time NBA champion, a 2-time NBA Finals MVP, 2008 NBA Most Valuable Player, 18-time NBA All-Star, 4-time NBA All-Star Game MVP, 11-time All-NBA First Team, 2-time All-NBA Second Team, and 2-time All-NBA Third Team. All in all, everybody is capable of achieving that higher level of living and living a life through meaning and expression through what you're passionate about and what you do. And this individual is one that did that. And going forward, I hope you guys learned a thing or two about what you are capable of, even in spite of some of the difficulties that you go through. Kobe Bryant served this purpose. I hope you guys serve yours. Subscribe for more content, like, share, and leave recommendations for other people that you will like biographies on as well.
In basketball, it was different because I expected to win. Like I expected us to win championships. I expected us to win 5. Quite honestly, I expected us to win 8. And so when you have that vision in sports, it's a direct competition. Like I know how hard they're working. I know how hard we're working. I know what their strategy is. I know what ours is, So it's a little different. So when we went in the NBA, it was like, yeah, we expected to do that. But now we're going to come back and we're going to do it again, And so it's that constant like, all right, you're churning. You win one championship. I'm back in the gym the next day, working, getting ready for the next one. Now, it's different because it's not about the awards. You just wind up trying to create something that's going to inspire someone that hopefully, through that inspiration, they can inspire somebody else. And what I've come to learn as my career went on is that's more significant than any championship. Is how do you connect with somebody that can then connect with another? And then with whether the awards come or not, that's for, the Academy Award body to decide. But, like for us, it's just to try to create things.